Hi guys. So I just wanted to let you know on the worksheet that's posted for this lesson, I also posted a short cartoon little video explaining Act 1, Scene 2. We're going to listen to the traditional style of it again, and I'm going to flip back and forth between No Fear Shakespeare, kind of give you my interpretation on here to help you guys understand this better and to answer your questions. Please, if you have any questions, make sure you email me, message me on Classroom because I want everyone to understand this fancy speaking tragedy between Romeo and Juliet. So, scene 2 opens up with Capulet, Paris, who we haven't met yet, and a servant. Remember, Capulet is Juliet's father. Here we go.
But Montague is bound as well as I, and penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She had not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she. She's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle parent.
All right, so you definitely heard completely right. Juliet is only 14 years old and somebody wants to marry her. Now, you have to remember, back in these times, people didn't live very long, and 14 was considered like a good age to get married. I know that sounds crazy, but that's basically what they're saying. So if you go back and you look, actually, am I on the wrong act here? Bear with me, guys. Act 1, Scene 2. Sorry. I don't want to redo the video here. So, I can only repeat what I've said before. My daughter is still very young. She's not even 14 years old. Let's wait 2 more summers before we start thinking she's ready to get married. Girls younger than she often marry, become happy mothers. And, Paris is very persistent. He wants to marry Juliet. Girls who marry so young grow up too soon, says her father, but go ahead and charm her, gentle Paris. Make her love you. My permission is only part of her decision. If she agrees to marry you, my blessings and fair words will confirm her choice. Tonight I'm having a feast that we've celebrated for many years. I've invited many of my closest friends, and I'd like to welcome you and add you to the guest list at my humble house tonight, which is really quite like the mansion, because remember, he is a noble. You can expect to see dazzling stars that walk on the ground and the light from the sky below. So then, if we get back to the paraphrase, you'll be delighted by young women as fresh as spring as flowers. Look at anyone you like and choose whatever woman seems best to you. Once you see a lot of girls, you might not think my daughter's the best anymore. And he gives his message to this guy, Peter, and he says, listen, I want you to go walk around Verona, find people on this list, and invite him to my party at my house. So we're going to read a little bit more back to the formal Shakespeare, but now you get the idea of what's going on with Paris asking Juliet's dad, Capulet, to marry her. Juliet's dad saying, no, I'm going to have this party though, and take a look around you at the other women at the party before you think, my daughter's it for you.
Get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed. Within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest such as I love, and you, among the store, one more most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night, earth treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, even such delight among fresh fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hear all see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, Sarah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say my house and welcome on their pleasure stay. Find them out whose names are written here. Oh. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. Oh, but I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ. I can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. Oh, I must to the learned. In good time.
Tut, man! One fire burns out, another's burning.
So basically, we pretty much find out that he gave the list to a servant who never learned how to read. And this is quite common in the times because only really rich people and people with power and money learned how to read, and other people, servants and the other people in the towns that weren't nobles, didn't know how to read. So the servant sees Benvolio and Romeo, and he says, hey, help me out here.
Pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be helped by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die. Your plantain leaf is excellent for that. For what, I pray thee? For your broken shin. Why, Romeo, art thou mad? Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and... Goodeen, good fellow.
God give Goodeen. I pray, sir. Can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune and my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book. But I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly. Rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline and Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked thee that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
So you can come to the party. It's Capulet, as long as you're not a Montague, and we know that Romeo is a Montague.
At this same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. When the devout religion of mine eye maintained such falsehood, then turned tears to fire, and these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun. But you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.